You're watching the South Indian on News9, and this is our next story. We're going to do it in two parts. It's about education and two aspects of education in Karnataka, as it were. The first part is this: 2 or 3. The language row grips Karnataka, and we're talking about national education policy. Today, like I said, we are doing a super special on education Karnataka, and shall divide the show into two parts. The first part is about Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah reaffirming his government stand on adopting a two-language policy in the state's education system, emphasizing Kannada and English as the preferred mediums of instruction. Siddaramaiah said, and I am quoting him here, "There is a demand to adopt a two-language policy, Kannada and English in Karnataka. We are for a two-language policy. Our government is committed to a two-language policy." Recently, neighbouring state Maharashtra, it may be recalled, had also decided to roll back its implementation of Hindi as a compulsory third languages from classes 1 to class 5. An issue which is politically and ideologically non-negotiable for Dravidian parties in neighbouring Tamil Nadu, and that being the imposition of Hindi in the three-language policy under the National Education Policy, or NEP. The ruling Congress party in Karnataka also voiced its opposition to the three-language formula, especially in non-Hindi speaking regions. In a post on social media platform X, the party said, and I am quoting, "For speakers of Kannada, Tulu or Kodava who are fluent in Kannada and English, struggling with written Hindi is a significant challenge, a sentiment shared by many students in linguistically rich regions. The issue transcends a single language. It's about fairness and embracing our diversity." Earlier, the Kannada Development Authority had also written to Chief Minister urging the adoption of two-language policy in Karnataka schools, as also the Aam Aadmi Party. Then there's also the view that learning Hindi as a third language may hamper a child's ability to learn his mother tongue as well as English, which is not only a linked language but also a need globally. Meanwhile, Legislative Council Chairperson Basavaraj Horatti, who has been an MLC representing teachers for 45 long years, has picked up the cause of three-language formula for Karnataka, arguing that the marks secured by students in Hindi help students to improve overall performance, and also that adopting the two-language policy would be detrimental for around 15,000 Hindi teachers in government and aided high schools. But then some educationists think differently. They feel that two languages actually limits a child's overall growth and curtails logical reasoning and critical thinking. Much like Tamil Nadu, is the Karnataka government also opposed to Hindi as the third language, or is it to do away with extra burden on children? This is the first part of our show today, and let me now go to both the guests. Nizam Faujdar, General Secretary and Spokesperson for the KPCC, has joined us, and also D. Shashikumar, Educationist and General Secretary, KAMS or CAMS, is joining us. A very warm welcome to both of you. Nizam, let me come to you. Nizam, the question is, a lot of people are saying, is it your opposition to Hindi as a third language? Is it your opposition that allow the child to take up any language, like a neighboring language, let us say Marathi or Tamil or Telugu, for the sake of the argument? Is it that? Or is it that you are burdening, students? Why unnecessarily burden students with a third language? What is the real objection? This is what viewers want to understand.
Sudha, the basic tenet of the education is to help people acquire competence in various fields and in whichever field the boy or a girl is interested in. Now, when a party comes in the center and says you better start learning the language that we are imposing on you, and I think that's the basic tenet that's extremely wrong about the policy that the central government is trying to push. For the last 70, 80 years, each state used to have its own policy when it comes to the language. People learned, people studied, and it has been very smooth. Now you're trying to push down the throat saying that you have to learn Hindi, and I don't think so. Why can't the UP, Bihar, or Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and various states also learn Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam there? Why don't they learn? The question is now, why is that you're making such a fuss about making a Hindi as a compulsory language in the system? The idea is that Do you want your children to be well educated? If the question is that, then the answer is yes. Now, if the question is that you have to learn another language from the northern part of the country, I don't think so that that it requires any kind of competence to say that this is a forceful implementation of a policy that the BJP likes to push and peddle in the nation. Now, when there are 94,000 schools across the country are closed by the BJP government, they don't speak about that. They want to make sure there is a problem in terms of consensus in how the language, how an education system has to be run. They don't want to push the education into the last man standing, but they want to make sure that we have problems when it comes to demographic values.
But
Why
Nizam,
should anybody be forced?
apart from everything else, Nizam, you started by saying education is a basic right, and I like that. Let's not make very political here, and let's keep it, because you are quite adept at talking about things at a larger level. I'm asking you, then what happens to CBSE students or ICSE students in Karnataka? They have been, and also those kids are also yours, right? They are also studying. Also, don't you think if you deny me, like I speak 7 Indian languages. Now, if you deny me of learning Hindi, it is also my right, no? Maybe I want to learn Hindi. It's not because I'm a Kannadiga child or I'm a Tamil child. Think about the CBSE students, no, Nizam, and ICSE students. What happens to them then? You're denying them the right.
No, it's not like that, Sudha. Now, the people across the country are migrating into Bangalore. Why are they migrating into Bangalore? For a simple fact that the governments, today's government and the previous governments, have made a very amazing environment to people so that they can come, perceive their dreams, and basically grow and become very successful. When it's about you are migrating into another state which is having a home, a mother tongue which is called Kannada, Tamil, or it is Telugu. I think people who come in have to learn that basic local language. And I think, see, my mother tongue is Urdu. I studied in Kannada. I speak very good English. I also speak very good Hindi because I love the languages, right? Now, in terms, I should be happy that everything has to be in Hindi because it becomes easy for me to communicate. Because it's Urdu is my first language, my mother tongue. But when it comes to the basic people who are from the local localities of the rural area, from various people have to learn Kannada. Why should they not
They
learn
should
Kannada?
learn
Why should
Kannada,
they
but
not learn
also it's
Tamil?
very scary, because if I am from West Bengal, for example, I come to Bengaluru to work, I mean, I can get slapped and pushed if I say Kannada Gottilla, that I do not know how to speak Kannada.
No.
Let's
I
get
think, I
another, I'll
think,
come back to you, Nizam. It is a reality, Nizam.
no, that
You will
statement,
not do
the
it, but it's
statement
been
that
happening. It's been
Sudha,
happening,
the
and this is
statement you made, the
linguistic
student,
nationalism,
Sudha,
and yours is a
Sudha,
very unique state, and I love your state. You speak Tulu, you speak Urdu, Dakkani, you speak Marathi, you speak Telugu,
you
you
speak
speak Tamil,
Telugu,
you speak
Tamil,
Kannada. It's a beautiful state,
you
for
speak
God's sake.
Malayalam.
Malayalam, your Dakkini is so beautiful. Shashi Kumar, you are someone I've read about and I've spoken to you several times. You say children should learn, there should be 3-language policy, because you have different reasons. You say, first of all, it opens your mind. Please go ahead and present your case. What is your opinion on this?
Yes, Sudha. Actually, government of Karnataka has from several years, they have implemented 3-language. We are against imposing Hindi, there is no doubt.
Right.
But the provision for 3rd language for a optional to opt from the parent with respect to their mother tongue should be allowed, because you are restricting to 2 language and 3rd language there is no scope. It will be directly violation of discrimination between the boards, because only state board is being deprived with this. When they say, assume it in a house you have got 2 children or 3 children, one is joined in CBSE or ICSE and another in state, the child is able to learn only 2 language here, and the child at CBSE is allowed to learn 3 language of its choice. And there is a big trouble. Kannada was imposed. We demanded Kannada to be in this CBSE, ICSE mandatorily. But unfortunately, it was second and third language. But what the government now recently passed from 2 years, they made it as first and second. Now the problem is in Honorable High Court that 2 years from down the line, nothing has happened, and it has been reminded 3 weeks so that give answer to the from the government. Why I'm saying this is, see, sometimes if you lose the case, because it is the parents' case, they have filed a PIL, and if they lose the government loses the case, those students who are studying and who are the migrants of only Kannada people or most in the CBSE, ICSE, they will lose their mother tongue. I mean, the Kannada will be not learnt in those schools. See, this is unfortunate.
So you are saying it's a
supposed to-
loss. It's a loss. Because
100%
Kannada should be
Kannada
like
will be lost.
Nizam says, learn Kannada when you come. Though in that case, CBSE, ICSE schools, they will lose the right, or rather the
CBSE,
mandate to
ICSE
learn.
school most.
Yes.
1 minute,
Yes.
1 minute, Sudha. 1 minute. CBSE, ICSE, most students are from Kannadigas.
That's right.
They are studying there.
Nizam,
Apart
you
from
want to
that,
take that? Nizam, you want to answer that? What happens to those students?
I would give you. One more input I would give you.
Right.
There are Urdu schools. There are Tamil medium, Telugu medium,
Yeah.
Marathi medium,
True.
Malayali. See, these schools will lose if you stop third language by choice. Those schools will shut down because they will be violating Article 29(1), because third language
Right,
learning mother tongue will be deprived.
Right.
Only Kannada is compulsory.
Right.
English is required. What about the third
Language. And Nizam, you want to take
choice?
that? That's a very important point he is making.
Sudha, the CBSE and the ICSE schools are allowed to have a third language as Hindi. There is no restrictions to that. When it comes to when the central government says that in a state government, schools as well as the board, that is SSLC that we call it as, now in that board, and if you are saying if you have to bring Hindi as a compulsory language, I think that's where the whole contention is. It is not about every school can have 5 languages to teach to the students. There is no dispute about it. What is compulsory and what is not compulsory? Are you pushing down somebody's
Much like
throat?
Tamil Nadu.
Yes and no.
Yeah, but a lot
Yeah,
of
you want
experts
to
say
learn,
Hindi
you want to
needn't be
learn.
compulsory. I mean, there is a bit of a confusion on that. But let me also, gentlemen, go to
We
the
don't
second
want
part.
to have Hindi compulsion. But the thing is, in state board, it is the highest of students who are studying per year. 8 to 9 lakh students are studying there, and there is a lot of discrimination between even the marks allocation also.
All right, I have to go to the second part of the story,
examination
Shashi.
pattern itself is there is a big trouble there.
All right, let me go to part 2 of the story, and that is the Karnataka school kids are awaiting textbooks. And now, like I said, it is most distressing, ladies and gentlemen, because it's been 45 days since schools have reopened in Karnataka, but textbooks are yet to be distributed at BBMP government and private high schools across the state. I'm saying it's distressing because the first installment of books apparently reached the children in mid-June, and then it's been a very, very long wait, and they have been petitioning the Karnataka Textbook Society, but to no avail, no answer. Sources are saying this has become routine, and if so, then before the government decides on major policies like NEP, it needs to get its basic right. Let me go back to the two gentlemen. Nizam Fauzdar, what is going on? Apparently, payments have been made in September, October, November itself, but no books in sight. Shashi and I have been discussing this for 5 years now. Why such a delay in both government as well as private schools, Nizam? Please take cognizance of this.
I don't think so. There is a fire in the jungle.
There is.
There's no fire in the jungle.
There is.
It is. Let me. I like the way you push the
Envelope.
question.
That's my job, Nizam. And also,
so let me respond. See, Sashi is smiling with all his glory, though. I like that. But what the entire issue is, it's most of the schools' books and textbooks have been delivered. Maybe yes, in certain parts, maybe one subject or two subject books have still not reached. I think that's a lapse. We are correcting it, and I don't think so. It's such a major issue in terms of calling it as the whole jungle is burning. Now the
10
question
is what
when
I'm
will
hearing.
it come very
Around
shortly.
18 to
It will
19
come very
books. Shashi
shortly.
Kumar, come in here. Shashi Kumar, I only have 3 minutes left.
No, let me
Shashi.
let me
Sudha,
answer.
the thing
Let
is,
me
Nizam, what he
question
said
certain
is
important
absolutely
issues.
right. More than 99% of the books have reached the BO office. The problem is from BO
Delivery.
office to, yes, the BO
Delivery.
office to school, it is
Yes.
been trouble.
Why is that delay? In June, some of the books have been sitting there, but they haven't reached the child's
It is
desk.
the failure of the BO office. The BOs and the DDP has to be held responsible because Textbook Society has delivered the most of the books, but the problem is from 1 month behind the supply. The supply is not been done by the BO office to schools, and
Local
we
offices.
just 1 week back, I had a separate meeting with the textbook director by the word of a commissioner, and they are pushing, but the failure has to
No, but
be
there is a
answered.
failure. Nizam, you have to correct
Failure
this,
is from
Nizam.
the BO office. The failure is from the BO office, and government has to take serious. This is year on year the problem. We are given the
It's
solution,
become
but they are not
endemic.
accepting.
It's become endemic. Nizam,
And
it's
there
not
is
the
also
first time. Like I
corruption in
said,
that.
Nizam, we
Sudha,
discuss this
Sudha, there
every
is a
year.
corruption in that. There is a
Oh,
corruption in
No,
that.
I
If BO office officials are not paid, they don't supply books properly. There is a huge corruption there.
I think Shashi's the response or the question and his input has to be taken with cognizance. We have to streamline the process at the last mile. When the textbook authority has, as society has submitted those books or supplied those books to the last to the BO's office and the DDBI's office, I think there's some implementation issue which as per our the reason I said there is no fire in the jungle is because the books have reached. Maybe one or two books had not reached, but that is also have
But
reached now. Now the
Nizamji, this
question
is
is we
every
have to
year on year
streamline. We
same
have to
problem.
streamline. Shashi bhai, I understand that. I understand. So the idea is, I think we should get a little more stricter. We should become a little more harder. We should whip the last man standing, especially the BOs and the DDPIs. I think our government will take corrective step, and in the future it should not happen. But the question is, my simple question to the central government is was 1,04,000 crore इन्होंने बजट बनाया लेकिन 94,000 plus schools were closed down. Why did you close it? Why are you pushing this country into the era of illiteracy?
I, I,
That is the
I
question that I
totally
want to
agree
ask
with
today.
you, but boon boon se
No,
sagar
no, no,
banta hai,
Sudha, I
Nizam
have
Saab.
a question to
Yeah.
Nizamji.
Last, I
I
have
have a
1
question
minute.
to
इन्होंने सागर
Nizamji.
1
उबाल दिया
minute.
है
1
सागर
minute. Go
सागर
ahead, Shashi
उबाल
ji.
के पानी खत्म कर दिया
The Nizamji, same situation state board schools are facing. Thousands of schools are being closed every year on year, especially state board, because of the no proper implementation of SSLC reforms, and there is a lot of discrimination
Why
between
I
boards.
said boon
Please.
boon se gentlemen is because if we get our act together at home, then of course we should question the center and say, what are you doing with our kids? And leave the kids alone, like that song. We don't need no education like this. We need, we need people to be very, very enlightened.